Hey everybody, it's Chef Therese at the Sylvia Center, a food and nutrition program for young people based here in New York City and also upstate in Columbia County. Today we're going to be making marinara sauce. Marinara sauce is one of the 5 mother sauces. Just to help you understand, let me just call out the mother sauces and then tell you what it might be associated with. We have velouté. Velouté can be with chicken or a fish dish. We have espagnole. Espagnole is a deeper, darker, richer sauce that you can find with a leg of lamb or even a piece of steak, any type of red meat. We have bechamel. Bechamel is basically what we would use for creamed spinach. It's a dairy-based sauce, and when we break that down or beef it up a little bit, we can make something called a cheese sauce. That cheese sauce is what we would make macaroni and cheese with. We have hollandaise. Hollandaise is so eggy and buttery at the same time. We would put that on eggs Benedict or even spread it over some asparagus. And then the 5th mother sauce is marinara sauce. So marinara sauce that I'm going to make is going to be what we would use pantry items for. We're going to use canned tomatoes, we're going to use dried herbs, or any fresh vegetables that you might have around the house you can throw in there. So my marinara sauce is going to have a little bit of a kick to it because I like a little bit of spice, so I'm going to add some red pepper flakes as well. So stay tuned and we're going to get this marinara sauce together as soon as I finish washing my hands. Be right back. Okay, so we're back. My hands are nice and washed. I washed up my produce. We're going to be using carrots, onions, garlic. Garlic is always oh so good. I might actually use half a head of this. And I'm going to be using some fresh basil. My basil is on its way out. You can see by where the leaves start to turn brown. Once it starts to turn brown, you can't really use this for things like pesto, but I can use it for a sauce because it still has its flavor. I'm going to use 4 cans of tomatoes. I'm using peeled tomatoes, whole tomatoes, as well as crushed tomatoes. Whatever tomato product you have, that will work just fine. I'm going to start by just peeling off my carrot. Be sure to watch your fingers when you're peeling carrots or anything that you might have to peel. The peeler is sharp. Just doing a rough cut on my carrots, and the purpose of me doing this is because I am going to be blending all of these things at the end. They're going to get nice and soft and mushy. Now for my onions, I'm going to use 2 whole onions. With an onion, cut off the top, cut it in half using a tunnel. Remove the peel. Remember, don't throw this away. You can put it into a stock pot. The same with the other piece. Now I'm just going to give the onions a rough chop because these are going to be blended at the end, as well as the carrots and the basil. I'm going to use about half a head of garlic, which will equate to maybe like around 6 cloves. One of the easiest ways to peel garlic is to actually take your knife, blade facing away from you, place that knife right on top of your garlic and press down. You'll hear it crack. And when it cracks, you can see that the peel starts to come off, and that's what we're looking for. That peel to come off. You can put a little bit more pressure on it and it helps it pop off. But we're going to do this for all of our garlic. So now I am ready to open up my cans of tomato product, and then I'm going to get them to the side. Before I opened these, I did clean off the tops because these things are sitting in factories, and when they sit in factories, rodents and insects basically use these as their homes and their bathrooms, so we have to make sure we give the tops a nice good cleaning before we open them. I'm just going to take a clean can opener and open up my cans. Be careful because sometimes when opening up cans, the top to the can can be very sharp, and we don't want anybody to cut themselves. So be very careful. Okay, so my cans are open, garlic is peeled, onions are diced, and so are the carrots. So now what I'm going to do is just pull some of my basil. I don't have to do anything special to it. I just gave it a nice wash to remove whatever sand and dirt there was. I'm not going to chop this. It's going directly into my mise en place bowl because this is all going into the pot. We're ready to get started. Oil's in a pot. In goes our vegetables. I like to season in layers. Everything's in the pot. Now we're going to cover and simmer for about an hour. Our marinara has now been cooking for about an hour. The tomatoes, carrots, and onions have started to soften. If we would like, we can break it down a little bit further with the back of the spoon. If we want a chunky marinara, we would have broken down the tomatoes and maybe chiffonaded the basil prior to cooking it. For me, I would like a creamier type of consistency, a lot smoother. So I'm going to be running this through a blender. If you would like it to be thicker, you can let it cook for another 2 or 3 hours. For the blender, we have to vent the top just to let the steam out and cover it with a kitchen cloth. This is just to prevent burns and extra splatters. I'm going to run it through and then I'm going to cord it up and get it ready for refrigeration. Hey everybody, we're back and our marinara sauce is done. It has been blended and I corded it up. I was able to get 4 quarts out of the mixture that I made up today. Remember, marinara is one of the 5 mother sauces. If you like marinara sauce, you can make this any way. You can do herb heavy, you can do extra spices, or you can do it the way that I did and made it a garden variation and put some extra vegetables in there. Tomatoes, they are fruit, but they're not as sweet. You can basically do whatever you want with them. You can make them sweet or savory. In my case, I did a sweet savory mix. The reason why is because I like to have a tiny bit of sweetness in my marinara. Most people do not. You never add sugar to a marinara sauce. That's just my opinion. But in my case, I did add some carrots, and carrots have natural sweetness. I hope you like this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you make this at home. This is a pantry item recipe. You can take canned tomatoes and some dried herbs, and you'll be able to make this recipe. No need for the extra fresh vegetables. Whatever you have in your cabinet will do just fine. So if you like this video, if you are interested in more activities or community resources, please visit us at www.sylviacenter.org. I'm Chef Doris with the Sylvia Center. Thank you for watching. Remember to stay healthy and keep cooking. See you guys soon. Bye.